So already I have bad karma. Sorry, you guys. I didn't want to do it to you. Okay, so my name is Danny Martin. I'm an application developer. Our office is right next door. We have an arena attached to it, and we do a lot of our coding and a lot of our marketing outside of it. So feel free to come take a look. Now, the cool thing about Geekletes, it's geeking athletes. So esports, I will say, how many people know about esports? But it's perfect. You know, I really don't get a lot of people, but perfect. Thank you. So in college, I spent a lot of time interacting with consoles and PCs and around a bunch of gamers. I was an athlete at the same time. So from my perspective, I was just like, in between practices, I'm going to game. I have a passion for gaming. I love gaming, and I'm going to be gaming for the rest of my life. So for me, it's like, hey, you know, like, how can I be able to be in this industry? And at that moment, I didn't know where to start. So at that moment, I was just like, I need to learn, and I need to be able to create something that allows other individuals to actually game just as much. So the whole application was started, and it didn't just happen overnight. One of the cool things about Geekletes is it basically takes a lot of the components that individuals naturally use to host their own tournaments. Yes, to host their own tournaments, and it does it in more efficiently terms. So naturally, if you want to host a tournament, you will need a marketing system, you need a payment system, you need a proprietary bracket system, and there are companies that do that. And they do it just by themselves in that application. So I wanted to take all the different parameters and put it all together to make it easier for individuals to get into the industry. And why? It's because natural tournament hosts are older. They have disposable income. If you're in college, you do not have the means to take that big risk because you do not want to lose that type of money. And I did that in college because I was hosting tournaments, and I came across a lot of different things. And I'm like, whoa, I wish I would have knew this a long time ago. Well, to make it simpler for individuals is the key to open up the market. If you are older and you have the disposable income, you're then able to, you know, take over the actual industry. And if you open up that market, it makes it easier for other individuals, specifically in college, to have a job and not have to hear their mother say, hey, go get a job. You're just gaming all day. I've heard that before. I've taken care of my brother. I've said it to him. I've knocked down his Xbox saying, hey, go do your grades. And I had to tell myself, am I being contradictory? You know? So from that perspective, I was like, I need to actually create something, allow him to do something so he can be very passionate in what he does. So our system has a brackets, it has payments, it has an API integration between Twitch, which allows you to be able to see the actual gamers as they compete. You can interact with them through the API, and it allows you to do promotions. So naturally, if you want to create a tournament, you'll pop it on that you'll create the tournament, and you'll post it onto the feed, like a social media. And then from individuals can be able to enter into that tournament. And then from there, you can facilitate that tournament by way of a bracket system that we created. So as I stated, our value proposition makes it easier for tournament hosts to be able to facilitate tournaments more efficiently. This is our UI. It allows individuals, it makes it nice, it makes it simple. Currently, as I spoke, if you're hosting a tournament, you're going by application, 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 application. And so we wanted to make it easier so individuals to stay on one application and build a community amongst that. Cool benefit. We created an algorithm that allows individuals to have a certain amount of time to be able to get the individuals within your tournament. Hypothetically, if you want to host a tournament for $1,000 and you want to charge the individuals $100 to get in, at 10 individuals, you just broke even. Well, if you do not get that amount of individuals within an actual tournament at that time, the tournament does not go live on the system. And you have not risked any money. So therefore, as a scholar student, that's lovely to be able to hear. Now, if you have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, that's your profit right there. And as a company, we take 10% off that profit. So we're actually taking a lot of the risk associated with it so you can know that you're going to have a successful tournament. As I stated, you create a tournament, you facilitate that tournament, and you collect your dough. For us, we've been spending a lot of time actually going out to the market to figure out exactly who is the actual target demographic. And it's students, it's individuals that use social media very heavily. I spend hours, maybe like 3 hours a day just on social media finding individuals within the community. It's very, very close-knit. And if you mess over them, you just count that you're not going to have a good product. So I try to make sure that I know exactly what's going on in the industry and who to be able to target. So I spend a lot of time traveling around to go to all of the conventions and all the tournaments and making great connections. So this is the feed. So once you actually post out the actual tournament, individuals come onto the first hand and they'll be able to see exactly what's going on, what tournaments is available, what tournaments has passed, what tournaments are they able to enter into. And this is our competitors. Our competitors are very unique. A lot of them have their own niche, and we really kind of wanted to make sure that we take all of those niches and place it in together. Yeah. I knew you was gonna do it.
That was good. Now I don't know. The one time we get gonged, and it's the fastest speaker I've ever heard.
Yes, I know.
I don't even get. I don't know how that math works. Okay, questions.
Yes.
There's one.
Hey, so I really like your layout, and I think your design interface is really great.
Thank you.
In terms of, what's your current user model in terms of how many users do you currently have on your platform? What's your growth been like? What's your cost? What's your revenue? Can you just hit me on all those points?
Yes, growth for us has been pretty fast in the sense of being able to acquire the actual individuals who utilize social media. So I can actually just post or talk to individuals, and from there, they're able to say, okay, I'll try your platform. We are in the beta phase, so we haven't officially released. And you stated growth. What was the second one? Yeah, cost and revenue. Yes, definitely still a beta. So I'm actually funding this all, by myself. So that's one of the biggest things from their perspective. So it's actually bringing in developers, UI, UX developers, and, a whole host of individuals. No problem, man.
All right. So, I'm not a gamer, but, it's kind of intriguing. So is the platform just for hosting tournaments?
It's mainly geared towards hosting tournaments, but an individual can host a tournament, post it onto the feed, and then individuals who are interested in entering those tournaments, they can have that choice as well. Okay. But the whole model is like an Airbnb and Uber, to where it makes individuals much easier to be able to gain currency from hosting those tournaments.
Okay.
Any more questions? All right.
How do you integrate with the actual game? Like, let's say I want to have a Madden tournament, and do you just introduce the individual players with each other and they go from there? Or how does that work?
Yes. So because we don't have to, one of the coolest things that we would have tied into Microsoft or Sony, anytime they take down their APIs or any of their product, our site will go down as well. So I wanted to make it by itself. So individuals, what I had to do as a company is state, the biggest titles, if you guys don't know esports, is Madden, NBA 2K, League of Legends, Dota, World of Warcraft, a whole host of competitively competed games. And so from that perspective, I wanted to be able to say, hey, I can easily put an actual gaming title, and then individuals can be able to pick their title when they're creating their tournaments. So I don't have to make it tie-to-tie. That makes sense.
Cool. So this it could seem a little bit like gambling. I know fantasy football lobbied a lot in order to make it legal. Is this in that vein? And could maybe I gamble on like a good gamer?
Yes. So that's the cool thing about it. I'm glad I love when individuals ask that question. So one of the cool things about it's considered wagering, skill-based wagering. There's two things: gambling's of chance. And actually, FanDuel and DraftKings were able to bypass a lot of that because they stated it's skill-based. So skill-based is basically if I'm competing against you and it takes me 2 years to get that level, it takes me 1 year, that's still, your skill helped you beat it, But if naturally your skill didn't help inside of it, then that would be considered chance.
Right here.
Yes.
Can I just host a tournament as an investment? Do I actually have to have the gaming system to host a tournament?
Man, that's so cool. One of the things that I'm experiencing right now is individuals want to utilize the platform and they're not in gaming. Like they want to do a kickball tournament or they want to do domino tournament. And so because I'm in gaming, I've been like denying it, but that's kind of like learning from our perspective to figure out how other uses this application can be used for. Like we're right now in the process of white labeling, and we're working with other companies that say, hey, we don't have to be gaming, but we can take our platform, place it on top of your platform, and utilize the proprietary system that you actually created because it's not out there.
Yeah. What is the biggest motivation for users to host the tournament? Does he get any benefit or money benefit, monetary?
Say it again.
What is the biggest motivation for users to host a tournament? Is it just like a sharing, or is he also getting a monetary benefit?
It's easy, but it's basically due to currency that you're able to get from it. So naturally, if you host a tournament, as I gave the example, you're able to say because it's easy, you're posting on the feed, it's easier for individuals to enter into that tournament. Therefore, it's easier for you to be able to facilitate a successful tournament, and which means you're able to, retrieve the money that you're able to, that you're hoping for, make it currency.
Just to clarify, would you be hosting games like the e-games that you're targeting just like Steam would?
Yes.
Is that the closest comparison?
Exactly. I take a lot of insight from Steam.
That's about it. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So that's it for the night. Actually, we have a little bit of time, so we're gonna do a special quick round session. But before we get there, I've got one last quick question.
Let's do it.
I'm hosting Ignite DFW June the 13th. You're one of the speakers. Just tell everyone real quick what your talk's about.
Yes.
And by the way, so if you've never been to Ignite DFW, it's kind of like TED Talks on steroids. So
For sure.
just tell them real quick.
Yes.
There's no tickets left?
No tickets left. Yes.
We might be able to get a larger theater. So just 30 seconds. Tell them what you're talking about.
For sure. The coolest thing is that I'm used to pitching. So one of the best things is it puts you in an environment to be able to talk about your story and how it came about. What made you go through and what obstacles you hit, without saying what you're doing. And so it was pretty epic because you're going to hear a lot of good stories, and you always wonder, like, how can I create something, and how can I put it in, and what's that motivation? And you want to see individuals out there to be able to have the same type of motivation for what they actually create. That was fast enough?
Good stuff, good stuff.
Awesome.
It might be sold out, but go ahead and check ignitedfw.org, and maybe we can get a larger theater and get some more of you in there. Okay.